In the annals of aviation history, few incidents evoke the same level of shock and sorrow as the Air India Ahmedabad crash of 2025. On that fateful day, Flight 1071 made its final approach. Tragedy struck, leaving behind a trail of devastation and unanswered questions. Today we delve into the heart of this catastrophe, piecing together the events that unfolded in those final moments before impact. Join us as we conduct an in-depth analysis of the investigation reports, survivor testimonies, and expert opinions. Together, we'll attempt to answer the haunting what went wrong in the skies above Ahmedabad. The year is 2025, and the world is still grappling with the aftermath of the global pandemic. The aviation industry, however, shows signs of recovery as people slowly return to the skies. On this day, two crucial flights are scheduled to take off from Mumbai, both under the banner of Air India, the country's flag carrier. Flight 1324, an Airbus A320, is set to embark on a journey to Delhi, carrying with it a contingent of 168 passengers and 6 crew members. Meanwhile, Flight 171, also an Airbus A320, is poised for takeoff. It's destined for Ahmedabad, with 166 passengers and a crew of 6. As the planes prepare for their respective takeoffs, little do they know that their paths will converge in a terrifying and unforeseen manner just a few hours later. The unsuspecting passengers and crew of Flight 171 settle in as the aircraft takes off. From Mumbai at 12:05 p.m., the flight is uneventful, proceeding smoothly along its planned trajectory. As the plane approaches its destination, anticipation builds. For many, this flight is more than just a means of transportation. It's a reunion with loved ones, a chance to connect with friends, or a gateway to new experiences. But fate has a sinister twist in store, one that will turn this ordinary flight into a nightmare. As Flight 171 continues its journey, the crew prepares for landing at Ahmedabad International Airport. They're met with perfect weather conditions, setting the stage for what should be a routine touchdown. At 1:55 p.m., pilots of Flight 171 make their first contact with the Ahmedabad airport authorities. All seems to be going according to plan. But beneath the surface, disaster is lurking, waiting to strike. In a chilling turn of events, the control tower at Ahmedabad receives a distress call from the pilots of Flight 1324, the flight that departed Delhi. They've spotted another plane directly in their path, a potential collision course that defies all aviation protocols. The gravity of the situation sinks in. The controller's immediate response is decisive. He contacts Flight 1324, instructing them to take evasive action, to alter their course immediately. In a desperate bid to avert disaster, Flight 1324 banks to its right, narrowly avoiding a mid-air collision. But the drama doesn't end there. The controller now turns his attention to Flight 171, issuing a directive that will have devastating consequences. He instructs the pilots of Flight 171 to maintain their altitude and stay on course, effectively putting them in the direct path of Flight 1324, which is now turned back towards Delhi. The unfolding scenario is nothing short of a nightmare. The controller's decision to send Flight 171 directly into harm's way adds a layer of tragedy to this already horrifying situation. On board Flight 171, the passengers and crew are blissfully unaware of the danger that lies ahead. They've boarded this flight with hopes and dreams, not knowing that their lives are about to change in the most unimaginable way. As the minutes tick by, the unsuspecting passengers of Flight 171 continue to enjoy the comforts of the flight. They chat with their travel companions, read their in-flight magazines, or simply relax into the plush seats. The cabin is filled with a sense of normalcy, a stark contrast to the life-threatening events that are about to unfold. Meanwhile, on Flight 1324, the crew is in a state of high alert. They've just narrowly escaped a collision. And now they're racing against time to reach an altitude where the risk of a secondary collision is minimal. The cockpit is filled with urgency as the pilots maneuver the aircraft, ensuring the safety of the passengers on board. In the control tower, the controller struggles with the weight of his decisions. He watches helplessly on the radar as the two flights hurtle towards each other, caught in a deadly game of cat and mouse. With each passing second, the stakes get higher and the tension mounts. As the story unfolds, we learn that Flight 1324 was carrying not just passengers, but also a contingent of medical professionals who had answered the call to serve in a remote part of Gujarat. Their mission, a noble one, to provide health care to those in need. Now, fate has dealt them a cruel hand, threatening to cut their mission short in the most horrific way imaginable. On the ground at Ahmedabad, chaos ensues as emergency services scramble to respond to the impending disaster. The airport authorities spring into action, rushing emergency vehicles to the scene, but they're running against the clock, knowing that when it comes to mid-air collisions, there's almost no time to react. With the realization that a collision is imminent, the pilots on Flight 1324 make a valiant effort to avoid the worst-case scenario. They put the aircraft into a left bank, hoping to steer clear of Flight 171. However, the maneuverability of the plane is limited, and the looming threat of impact remains. As the planes draw closer, a terrifying thought crosses the minds of some of the passengers on Flight 171. Could this be the end? They look out of the windows, hoping for a clear view, but thick clouds obscure their vision. They're trapped in a metal tube hurtling through the sky, oblivious to the fact that their fates are intertwined with the crew of Flight 1324. Moments before impact, the passengers on Flight 1324 brace for the worst. They feel the jolt of the collision, sending debris raining down onto the houses below. Among the wreckage, one resident finds a life-size doll, an eerie reminder of the human cost of this disaster. In the aftermath of the crash, rescue operations commence immediately. First responders rush to the scene, hoping to find survivors in the mangled wreckage. But the reality is grim. The impact was so forceful that the chances of survival seem slim. Still, they search tirelessly, determined to bring hope to the grieving families. In the ensuing days, the nation mourns the loss of life. The victims are remembered as more than just statistics, each with their own dreams, aspirations, and loved ones. The tragedy unites the country in grief, bringing home the fragility of life. Among the passengers on Flight 171 is a family returning from a pilgrimage. They had traveled to Mumbai to seek religious blessings, only to have their journey cut short in the most brutal way possible. Their dream trip turns into a nightmare, highlighting the unpredictability of fate. As investigations into the crash begin, the focus shifts to determining the cause of the mid-air collision. Aviation experts analyze every detail, striving to piece together the sequence of events that led to the disaster. The goal is clear: to prevent such tragedies from happening again. The inquiry reveals a series of unfortunate events that culminated in the catastrophe. From the delayed departure of Flight 1324 to the miscommunication between the pilots and the control tower, each factor plays a role in the unfolding disaster. The report delivers a sobering message, emphasizing the importance of precision and clarity in the high-stakes world of air travel. In the face of such a devastating tragedy, the nation grapples with the question of accountability. The families of the victims seek answers, demanding justice for their loved ones. The government faces the daunting task of responding, balancing the need for transparency with the complexities of the case. Amidst the grief, stories of individual resilience emerge. Survivors recount their harrowing experiences, sharing their tales of survival in the face of such a catastrophic event. Their stories, though painful, offer a glimpse into the strength of the human spirit. In the wake of the Ahmedabad Air India crash, calls for reform grow louder. Aviation authorities worldwide reevaluate safety protocols, striving to learn from this tragic incident. The pursuit of justice and the quest for safer skies go hand in hand. As we reflect on the Ahmedabad Air India crash, we remember not just the tragedy itself, but also the lessons it holds. The crash serves as a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of aviation, where split-second decisions can have catastrophic consequences. It's a somber testament to the fact that even in the most highly regulated industry, accidents can occur, leaving behind scars that run deep. The events that transpired in the skies above Ahmedabad are a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the fallibility of systems. It compels us to constantly strive for improvement, to question procedures, and to invest in technology and training. This isn't just about preventing future disasters. It's about honoring the memory of those lost by ensuring that their sacrifice isn't in vain. As we come to the end of this journey through the depths of the Ahmedabad Air India crash, we're left with more questions than answers. The true cost of this disaster goes beyond the physical damage and the financial burden. It strikes at the core of our collective consciousness, forcing us to confront the harsh realities of air travel. The final report may offer closure, but it also leaves us with a profound sense of empathy for those involved. It's a reminder that behind every statistic, there's a story waiting to be told. So, as we move forward, let's carry with us the memory of those lost in Ahmedabad. Let their stories be the driving force behind our pursuit of justice, improvement, and most importantly, remembrance.